So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to achieve a soft glam eyeshadow look. So if you guys are interested, then just continue to watch. Alright, so I already did one eye off camera just so you guys could really see the finishing look. This is what we consider a soft glam eyeshadow look. It's a very nude, very basic eyeshadow glam. This is something that my beginners, you guys need to know how to achieve this. So I'm gonna break it down really simple in this video. So what I'm gonna do is just zoom you guys in a bit closer. So we are up close and personal now. So the first thing you want to do is conceal your eyelids. So you wanna grab a concealer that is about 2 to 3 shades lighter than your natural complexion. This is just going to allow your colors to really pop on your eyelids. I'm gonna be going in with my e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. This is in the shade Medium Beige. This is about 3 to 4 shades. It's a really light shade for me, so I love that I could use this for my eyeshadow. So we're just going to apply it on the lid, and you don't need to put too much. A little goes a long way. Your eyelids is not a really big space, so you just want to apply a nice decent amount on your eyelids. So you could use your beauty blender, a brush, any type of tool to blend out your eyeshadow. I'm going to be going in with a brush today, and this is just going to set the base and just make sure that it's ready to go. Now, some people like to go in with powder right on top of this. Me personally, I like leaving it tacky. This just allows my eyeshadows to stick onto my eyelids, and for me it stays and lasts throughout the day, so I kind of leave it like this. So before I go in with the eyeshadows, I want to go over the brushes I'm going to be using, and of course they are dirty because I did do my right eye already. So we're gonna go through all the brushes that we need to achieve this look today, and it's only 4, so you guys are lucky. All right, so the first brush that you need is your blending brush. So your blending brush looks like this. It's a big fluffy brush. This is what's going to allow you to blend in the eyeshadow. So this is going to help just make sure everything looks seamless. This is going to be what you use to apply your transition shade. So the next brush is a tapered brush. Now they call this tapered because towards the end or the tip of your eyeshadow brush, it's more pointed. Now the reason this is more pointed is because it will allow you to apply that eyeshadow directly in your crease, and your crease is where the fold is. So for me, my crease is right here, so where the fold is when I open my eye. Now everyone's eye shape is a bit different, so everyone's crease is a little bit different, but the end goal and how you do apply your eyeshadow is always the same. So you go in with your transition shade, you go in with your crease shade, and then you go in with your lid shade. And speaking of lid shade, your lid shade brush is a flat brush like this. So this is what is going to help you pack on the color on this open space. So all this here is considered your lid space. The fourth brush is your smudge brush. So it looks something like this. Usually it's angled or it could be straight, and this is what you are going to be using to smudge the eyeshadow on your bottom lash line. So now that we have all of the brushes we're going to be using, we are going to go right into just creating this look. So the eyeshadow that we are going to be using today is the Basic Bay palette by Catrice, and I chose this because we are doing basic eyeshadow today. This is an eyeshadow look I want you guys all to know how to create, because this is something you could use for birthdays, any special event. It's not doing too much, but it's showing that you actually try to do your makeup. So this palette is very basic, as you could see, hence the name Basic Bay. It has a lot of very neutral tones, very everyday-ish type of colors in here. So there's no blues, there's no reds, there's no colors that's gonna really pop. These are really neutral, basic shades. So for me in this palette, my transition shade would be this orange shade right here. So I'm going to use my blending brush. I'm gonna tap into that shade, and then we're gonna tap off the excess. And I stress, make sure to tap off the excess because you don't want to go in with a large amount of the eyeshadow at first. You always have the opportunity to build upon the eyeshadow. So always tap off the excess when you're going in with your eyeshadow. All right, so for your transition shade is right above your crease. So you want to apply that eyeshadow right above your crease. You're not putting it directly in the crease, you're just applying it right on top. And what I like to do is first build that shade. So you guys could see that I'm just packing on that eyeshadow. And this requires dipping in and out of your eyeshadow palette. And then now that you have that down, you want to take circular motions with your brush and diffuse that. You don't want it to look too harsh. You want it to look really blended and diffused on your eyelids. So I'm using circular motions to blend that out. All right, so we officially have our transition shade on. Now we're moving on to our crease shade. And with our crease shade, we want our tapered blending brush. So that is the one that's a bit more pointed, a bit more dense. This is going to help us apply that eyeshadow directly in our crease. So for your crease shade, you want to go in with a deeper shade than your transition shade. So in this palette, I have this option right here, and I have this option right here. So never want to go in your crease with any shimmer shades. So I automatically cancel out using any of these shades here. And you don't want to go in with any lighter shades than your transition. So in this palette, I only have two choices. So for me, I'm gonna go in with this shade here. For a soft glam look, it's always a more brown type of shade. I can go in with this, but the look I'm going for today, I do wanna go in with this shade here. So I'm gonna take the tapered brush, dip into that shade, and again, we're gonna dust off the excess. And then what you wanna do is find your crease, and we're going to pack this color directly in the crease. So again, we're packing first, we're not blending. We want that color to really pop on the eyelids. And for the crease color, for this specific look, I stop halfway. So I don't bring it all the way in the inner corner, I stop halfway on my eyes. All right, so now that I have my desired amount, we're gonna go back in with the transition blending brush, and I don't have any product on it. All we're doing is blending out that line of demarcation. So you don't want this going on. You want to make sure that your transition and your crease are blending in smoothly. So what I like to do is use circular motions to blend out that harsh line. Now blending could take a while. I know a lot of us are into that quick and easy up and go makeup look, but if you are going to be doing your eyeshadow, you always want to take your time with blending and just making sure that everything looks seamless. All right, so this is how your eyeshadow should be looking. Everything looks very blended and seamless. You don't want it to look too harsh. It's very neutral, super easy to achieve so far, I hope. All right, so now we're going in with our lid shade. Now, I was telling you guys our lid shade is usually a nude shade. So in the palette, I have a few options for my lid shade. Now, if you want to switch up your look at any point, you can do what I've already showed you and apply any of your shimmer shades to your eyelids. That's optional, but for this video specifically, we're going for a soft glam eyeshadow look. So I'm going to stick to a very nude and neutral shade. So I'm going to go in with this shade here, and I'm going to grab my flat brush. And for your eyelid shade, I don't tap off the excess. I need as much pigment from the shade as I could get. So we're gonna dip into that and pack on a lot onto the brush. And then we're going to just press that shade into our eyelids. So you don't wanna swipe the shade, you wanna pretty much press it onto your eyelids. This is just going to allow the color payoff to really show. And all you're doing is following all that open space. All right, so now that you've applied this all over your eyelids, you want to go back in with your tapered brush. So your tapered brush is what you use to apply your crease color. So that's the dark brown shade. So I'm going to go back into that shade. I'm not grabbing too much. We're going to dust off the excess. And you see this line of demarcation? You don't want that. So all I'm doing is going side to side with that shade and blending the two colors together. This is going to make sure that everything looks seamless and blended together. All right, so that is about it for the eyeshadow that we're applying on the lids. Now it's up to customization. So I'm gonna go in with my eyeliner, and I'm just going to apply a very thin line across my lash line. All right, and then I'm gonna apply it in my waterline as well. All right, now the last eyeshadow that you're going to be using is for underneath your lash line, and we're going to go in with our smudge brush. So So this is an angled smudge brush that I have in my hand, and I'm gonna dip into the crease shade. So that's the brown shade here. This is what's going to connect everything and really bring everything together. So I'm gonna dip into that, dust off the excess, and all we're doing is connecting from here all the way till here. So I'm just gonna apply that, and you wanna just keep dipping into your palette to make sure that it's applying. And all you're doing is applying it and smudging out pretty much your eyeliner and really smoking out your bottom lash line. All right, so I'm gonna quickly apply the lash just to finish up the look. Lashes, of course, is optional. For me, I love a nice lash with a soft glam eyeshadow look. And if you haven't seen my updated lash tutorial, I'll leave it in the links above. It's a very detailed tutorial if you are wondering how to apply lashes. All right, I'm gonna apply some mascara to my top and bottom lashes. Every detail counts. All right, so that completes today's look. I hope you guys were able to learn how to really achieve a soft glam eyeshadow look. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already. And if you are a new sis to my channel, sis, subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.